So the most popular and most highly reviewed paddle of 2024 just got an upgrade, and I have to say, it's an objective upgrade. So without further ado, let's dig straight into it. So these paddles only come in at $10 more than the non-plus versions at $165 a piece. You can use code STS Pickleball to save 20 bucks off the J2K Plus, since that's my Kevlar specific code for Honolulu, and you can use code STS10 to save 10% off the J2Ti Plus, as that's my code for the rest of the website. These codes work on every website in the space, so there's absolutely no bias going into this review. So the J2K Plus and J2Ti Plus are out and are definitely hotter than the original versions. I think what you're getting here with the Plus is more power, a bigger sweet spot, more spin, but all at the cost of some durability. So there is a trade-off. So the owner of Honolulu was telling me that these being new technology Gen 3 foam enhanced paddles, they could potentially break down a bit quicker than traditional Gen 1 and Gen 2 paddles due to the way that they're constructed. But it's still unknown what the longer term durability will actually be like. But preemptively, and just in case, the owner does have a warranty and refresh program that feels very transparent. It says when your Plus paddle reaches its breaking points, you can purchase up to 2 replacement paddles at 50% off the regular price. Now my mind sees two things here. One is that I'm not a huge fan of waste, and the durability of paddles going down these days due to new core types is objectively wasteful and not a great use of resources. But on the other hand, I have to give Honolulu props for at least being transparent and offering this as a company. I think that's better than nothing. So if I was thinking about purchasing either of these paddles, I would ask myself if more power, a larger sweet spot, and more spin is worth potentially less durability and potentially needing to replace your paddle at 50% off twice as often, which monetarily speaking, if you break it down, you're spending just a little bit more overall given the 50% price break of your next paddles. So for me personally, I would say that's worth it, and let's jump into why. Metrics wise, the J2K Plus comes in with a swing weight of 115 and a twist weight of 7.18, which are relative, if not a tiny bit better than the non-plus version. And the J2Ti Plus comes in at a swing weight of 117.5, which is almost 5 points higher than the non-plus version, and a twist weight of 7.23, which is about 0.3 higher than the non-plus version. Okay, so let's jump into some spin metrics here, the fun stuff. Spin wise, I have the J2K and J2Ti at 2232 and 2237 RPM respectively, and the new J2K Plus came in at 2324 RPM, and the J2Ti Plus came in at 2319 RPM, which places them at the number 2 and number 3 spot for highest spinning paddles in my database currently. The spin and the curvature you can get on the ball with these is just incredible. They are way more gritty than the non-plus paddles as well. Every single time I pick up a brand new Honolulu paddle, it has more grit than the last batch I received, so they are seemingly always innovating to be pushing the boundaries of what is legal. But I have to say, these are just ripping spin, and after playing with these for a while, they don't feel like they've lost spin either and are maintaining their gritty textured surface very well. Power-wise, you can see here, they come in just a touch hotter than the non-plus paddles. The J2K Plus coming in at 9.4 and the non-plus was a 9.2 out of 10. And the J2Ti Plus coming in at a 9.1, whereas the original was an 8.9. And pop-wise, we see a relative jump with the J2K Plus coming in at an 8.8, whereas the non-plus was an 8.6, and the J2Ti Plus coming in at an 8.6 from an 8.4 in the non-plus version. The power enhancement is noticeable in play for sure. I won't bore you with a bunch of sweet spot numbers, but the sweet spot of these paddles is also about 10 to 15% better than the non-plus versions. So that larger sweet spot coupled with more power and more spin is a pretty deadly combination. Lastly, we have control, and control wise, with that larger sweet spot and more spin, they do get some bonus points even though they have more power and pop, which will always lead to a lower control score overall. You simply cannot have more pop and power and have more control. That will never be the case. So because these have more pop and power than the non-plus models, the J2K Plus comes in at an 8.9 and the J2Ti Plus comes in at a 9, with the non-plus J2K at a 9.2 and the non-plus J2Ti at a 9.2 as well. They do have huge sweet spots and more spin, which helps with placement of the ball, with the trade-off of more power leading to slightly higher pop-ups. So overall, would I consider these worthy upgrades from the non-plus versions? In play, I would say 100% yes. I think that these are awesome, and the grit and spin alone is just super fun. It is a bit of a bummer. It's at the cost of some potential longevity concerns, but the refresh program is a solid option and shows the company is customer focused, which definitely gives me some trust and security over the long term. Click right here if you want to see my Titan ball machine review. Subscribe for more videos just like this one. Have a freaking wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.